Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful when the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you gotta get spotted. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun.
Good morning, everybody. It is Monday, and we got an interesting week ahead of us here because there's not a lot of news, but it does look like, based on certain flows that I'm watching and so forth, that there could be some money coming into the markets. So we may see a lot of perplexing moves, although it's most generally going to be equities moving up, Treasuries moving down. So if we come over here to the charts, if I can find it, where's my chart? Volume, right here. Okay, so here you can see in the ZN over the night, it just got, man. So here's the thing, is that throughout this like 130.24 area, I felt like that was like fairly valued. Okay, overnight, big dip. Further decline. Like, the treasuries are just whoosh, they're just getting destroyed. So here again, I think that the general trend is going to be down, but we may see some perplexing flows in between, like gasps up and so forth. And when it goes down, it may seem really random. Okay. In the ES, a little bit higher, but not by much. Pretty good move up on Friday, though, right? We got quite a ways to go to new all-time highs, but I mean, if these flows that we've been watching, or that some of the analysts watch, really do come through, we're probably going to be at new all-time highs by the end of the week. So we're going to be. It's kind of benchmark's going to be watching. Not saying that I think that it is going to, but that's kind of where we're looking. Okay. Oil higher, 83. Oh, do I have a strategy analyzer back there? I don't need that. NG. Okay, so the energy crisis is kind of cooling off, and that is really good for equities, right? That's really good. Gold coming off there. Silver coming off. All right. And Kappa just like skyrocketing up here the last few days now. That just looks like crazy. Yeah. And then we got to talk about the Bitcoin. So, man, Bitcoin moving up last week because rumor that the Bitcoin ETF will be approved today. I'm not sure I believe it. I'm not sure I believe it, but you know what? It seems to me. Oh, you know what else happened on Friday? Yeah, we don't need to look at that anymore. Here, let's just real quickly here look at the dollar. Dollar still in the high 93s. Okay. So here's the thing. On Friday, the CFTC released the results of their own investigation into Tether, and they found that Tether had lied and so on and so forth, and basically confirmed everything that we had been saying about Tether. But it was released on a Friday. It was like a quiet release, and they just said, here are the penalties, and they levied a fine, and they didn't do anything. So it seems to me that as long as the government continues to sit by and say, oh, well, we know that they're doing something wrong, but we're not going to do anything to stop them, you can just buy and hold Bitcoin. So I don't know if that ETF is going to come through. I'm a little concerned that they're lying, but I mean, I don't know. I know every outlet has reported this now, so it would be pretty something else if it gets denied. Okay, so, but I think that Bitcoin is on a up, and the technical levels that they're going to be looking for are going to be like in the 100Ks, right? I mean, that's what Tether wants. And what Tether wants they going to get because they can print as much money to get it, right? All right, so that's right. Let's turn to robots on. Wow, lots of conversation here this morning, huh? Oh, Powell died. Yes, I did see that. He died of COVID complications, which is like, what? Did he not take the vaccine? I think he did take the vaccine, actually. I don't know. Oh, well, I made my entire wealth by YOLOing my entire account into dog money? Yeah, that one still has been fairly upright. I haven't looked at it recently. He was fully vaccinated? I have nothing against the vaccine. I just really hate that they kind of lied to everybody by saying that the vaccine would be like the final solution, and it wasn't. I mean, I feel lied to because I thought that the vaccine was the final solution, you know? Oh yeah, Dogecoin is up pretty big today. That's still down. Yeah, that's still down quite a significant clip from what it was before. All-time high was 70 cents, and it's now 20 cents. Now let's see here. What about garlic? Garlic's been doing okay, right? They're at 56. They keep fiddling around in the 69 area, yeah. Of course. But I actually kind of looks to me, if I'll pull it over here, it kind of looks to me like some distribution going on in here. Like somebody got out here. All right, just understand, somebody got out. They really shouldn't have done that. The way that they did it too fast. If he had spread his orders out over a week, then Garlic Coin would have been on a better path, but that's okay. It's kind of funny. The cryptocurrency guys just react to it so strongly, but ultimately what matters is if people put more money in. I don't know where the more money is coming from in Bitcoin. Is it coming from institutions? Who knows? But the Google search traffic ain't there. Google search traffic ain't there. Okay, hold on a second. I'm going to respond to somebody here. Okay, let's see here. What else we got? I took GEM. Oh wow, he must still be in on that one. Well, I'm kind of looking at this in the Treasury. Well, we're not at the overnight lows. The overnight low is all the way down at 15. Is it true that professional poker players did well in trading? Well, I don't know. I would suppose that it's probably depends on what your definition of well is. Right? You got to realize futures trading is very, very difficult. And as a retail trader, you will almost certainly lose money doing it. Okay. What we do here is very risky. I lose money sometimes. I'm not always making money here, but I have the ability to absorb those losses, and I'm not risking very much, so it's not a big deal, right? But, you know, a lot of these people that you see when they claim that they've made a ton of money, I mean, anybody claiming that they've made a ton of money, you got to be immediately like, okay, they're probably lying. If they're saying it publicly, they're probably lying. But the people that I do know that have proven it, they're not saying it publicly, but they came to me privately and showed me their results. You know, they may have just been lucky. You know, it's a lot of it's super hard. Now, poker, I think poker is kind of the same thing, except for that, you know, it's easier to verify that somebody's actually done it. Like, it's still like the vast majority of people lose money doing it. And the few that do make money, you know, are kind of biding their time. It's not, you know. Isn't his name Colin? Or is it Colin? I don't know how you pronounce it. Are you positive being out for 2021? So, I'm having a hard time sorting out my starts. I'm pretty sure no. Because, well, actually, I know no because this account I funded at. Well, I'm down like, I'm not going to tell you. I don't have to. Well, I mean, you'll see it, but how much is in there doesn't really matter. I think I'm down 200. Okay. But 100 of that is going to be the fees and stuff, right? But when I go in and I look at here, I'll just show you. Let me pull this up. I'll just show you on the micro treasuries. Like I think the journalytics is I've done something in broken journalytics because it's not look correct to me. Oh, it could be. Oh, is that why? Oh, I know why now. Okay. So that's I understand now. But it's because they switched the account. The other day I was looking at it, I was like, well, it seems like I've made $84. What's the deal? Well, I have since I got switched over to Dorman, I've made that. But when I include the other one from before that, what happened was I made a boo-boo. I made a big boo-boo, right? There was this week where the treasuries the auctions were happening. And I was short and got stopped out of all of my positions. And I got absolutely destroyed that week. So when you take out that mistake, I'm doing pretty good. But that just means like I was doing some spreads in here too, was kind of the problem. So I would still like to do spreads. I expect that when I do it in the future, I'll probably lose money off of it. But I learned a couple of things about them that I need to do with the spreads and so forth. Like I think the big thing was that when I took that trade, I didn't really consider the auctions and the possible bullish order flows that were going to come in during the time horizon that I was expecting to hold the trade. Because in the end, it really, really worked out. It was just too big of an excursion against me first. So really, I was early. But you can kind of see how, even though I'm down on the year, I'm not unhappy. I'm doing actually pretty okay, right? We can continue with that, so we can work with that. But like I said, the overwhelming probability is that if you trade futures, you will lose money. I don't want anybody to have any illusions. There's all these people out there trying to tell you that, oh yeah, it's easy to make money day trading and yada yada. Well, it's not. Futures trading, you're most likely going to lose money. Well, that the heavy bearish action in the Treasury continues, doesn't it? Yeah, when I was looking at it the other day, I'm like, well, I'm pretty sure. Well, I know I'm down, but let's just see how I've been doing overall. And then I look at it and I'm like, no, that's not right. Now I realize why I was having such a problem. That's funny. Because it sees it as two accounts. It's hard to make a little and easy to lose. Yeah, it really is. Well, and this is, part of why I'm like here's the thing. If I had come out and I had shown you my year to date P&L before that week of losses, I would have looked amazing, right? So what does that tell you? Past performance is not indicative of future results, right? Be very, very wary about anybody out there trying to sell you on something based on how they performed on it in the past. How somebody else performed on it in the past is not an effective predictor of how much you will make from trading it. It simply isn't. Trade off of empirical evidence, right? If I can come through and I can make a strategy that's programmatic and I can say, when you run it against this data, it makes this much money, and you can go and you can run in that very back test yourself, that is empirical, right? Because empirical means that you can other people can see and verify it for themselves, right? That's what empirical means, okay? Trade off of things that are empirical, okay? So for instance, there is some empirical evidence. I would still call it a theory, but I would say there's some pretty strong empirical evidence that suggests that price is inelastic, which means that as we go up or as we go down, that the change in price doesn't really affect the demand to it very much, if not the opposite, okay? Right? Prices are inelastic. So that's one of the things that I factor into my trading. It's because there's empirical evidence that suggests prices are inelastic. There's empirical evidence that suggests that markets are not informationally efficient, right? And so those are why I trade off of those things. And that's going to put you light years ahead of other traders compared to, oh, I use this system and I made money that most people go off of. Wow, they really rocketed up there in the rates because we could have taken 20, huh? Trading Floor Audio tweets supply chain chaos is already hitting global growth and it is about to get worse, reports CNBC. Lockdowns have lifted, demand has rocketed. Supply chains that were disrupted during the global health crisis are still facing huge challenges and are struggling to bounce back. Well, I sure wish I was long rates, huh? I don't know. It's a Monday. That's a new low for the session, by the way. No, it's not. Because they traded 14.5. Well, they're not going for it for now. Just equaling it. Like I said, though, at the beginning, though, I think this week is going to be hard because I think that for the most part, I can probably go short and make money. But the timing and the way that it's moving and everything is going to be a little weird. It's just going to move down in perplexing ways, right? So we probably got a short meta order coming in here, but it could easily bounce back to the open. Okay, there's a new low. There's also, you know what? These micro treasuries really force me to wait for a pullback, because if I take it at 631, for instance, the chances of that coming back in my face are quite high. Like, you're just not getting a good price. Here in the treasury, I could maybe say, well, if I got filled at 14.5, maybe, you know. And see, they're going to keep it up there. They're going to keep it up there. So it's going to be really hard to come and get like 1.62 or something like that. I would see him giving a good word for Stephen Wolfram. Well, they do appear to be getting some backflow. You note here, though, that the Treasury is up 3 ticks and the micro hasn't moved. Yeah. Wow, this guy tweets reports that 146 million pounds has been lost to cryptocurrency fraud since the start of this year. What? Oh man, it is getting hot in here. What the heck? Well, it says that it's not so hot, so I guess it's just me. ProShares Bitcoin futures ETF will launch on the NYSE tomorrow, says the street. Privet. I still haven't seen an official announce, huh? Okay, there's a little bit more significant of an up move there. See, the way the Treasury is moving, it's a difficult trade. Well, interestingly, we should note that the equities market is falling here so far today. That last little move down looked pretty significant on the chart. Feeling very uncomfortable today. It's hard to focus when I feel so uncomfortable. Twitter is pretty quiet too. I keep looking over here and thinking that something's going on, and then I get nothing. Wow. I recently saw a post from a FedEx manager who needs to hire 300 sorter/warehouse jobs. He had 12 applicants submitted in 2 weeks, and I think next day delivery is going to take a vacation. Wow. That is something else. By the way, how does the sound? Is the sound okay? I adjusted the volume there just a little bit. Overall, I just don't have a good feeling for how things are going in the economy. Sound is good. Okay, cool. Yeah, I don't know. I think that the economy and the markets are going to diverge here a little bit, right? You add a "Let's Go Brandon" hoodie. I'm sure that somebody else is already on top of that one. We need to get a designer to make a technical analysis as astrology for men, though. I would like that one. You know, I joke about that, and then I'll get on TikTok, and I'm seeing people using actual astrology in their technical analysis. Oh, it must be up on the dresser. Oops. Well, so even though the Treasury is up here at the top of their range, and the 5-year seemingly trying to move up, the 10 and 30 look pretty stuck. U.S. 5-year yields hit a new cycle high as rate hike probabilities rise. How about that? There's like this threshold. This microphone is too low for the audio interface that I'm using, and I probably need to switch to a different audio interface. Is really what the problem is. Because to get it as loud as I want so that when I'm monitoring I can actually hear it, I have to have it up too high. And then you kind of hear a little bit of noise in the signal. This kind of development of hypersonic missiles by China also plays into rapid development of militarization of strategic nuclear forces. So I don't understand why a hypersonic missile is so important, but China has had a hypersonic missile, and they keep saying, well, we don't want to have a war with anybody or anything like that. But I think that what's going on here is that the Chinese want to do some things that are going to cross some red lines for the United States, no? You look like an old-timey announcer. Yes, thank you. That's like, well, that was exactly the kind of idea. Hypersonic is too fast to respond to, right? Maybe. I mean, I would think that they would be able to. I think that the technology to respond to a threat like that is probably easier to develop than the technology to actually launch a threat like that. No? Indefensible weapons. Okay. I don't know how they detect that sort of a thing. That's kind of weird. Like, can't you have it like, satellites searching for heat signatures across the Earth, and anytime there's a heat signature like that, it zooms in on it, and then you see, oh, it's a missile, and then you can start your response, and that could all happen within a matter of seconds. But again, why would China want it? Because they want to take over Taiwan. They want to dominate that sea, right? That's the problem. In fact, if you go online and you watch the Chinese propaganda campaign, you can already see them trying to lay the framework for trying to weaken the American resolve on in the event of such a possible war. Let's see, look. See, the problem with China is that you've got this, they're kind of here. I need to maybe zoom out a little bit. Okay, there you go. All right. So if you're China, you've kind of like, here's Japan, and we got South Korea. Okay. And then, actually, the US has Taiwan and the Philippines and Indonesia and all this stuff, right? So the Chinese, if there was ever a problem, the United States could probably like blockade them pretty effectively, right? You trading yuan futures? I would if I could. I keep slowly trying to learn Mandarin in the event that it's someday in the future I can go to China and trade Chinese bonds or be involved in there somehow, but probably not right now. Probably not right now. They're probably not too fond of me because I keep busting the balls of their top propaganda guy on Twitter. I didn't get a response from it this time around. Actually, I got one response, and like, because they were saying, I forget what it was, what he said, but my response was basically right, because we're afraid that Taiwan is going to be the one that make the first move, right? And they said, oh, okay, but you're not going to do anything if China, does invade Taiwan. They're basically like, yeah, we will be the ones that first strike, and then you're not going to do anything, which I am concerned about. I am. But yeah, think about it here. You're China, the Taiwan thing, that's a problem, right? I think a lot of people say, oh, Taiwan, that's just because it's like a philosophical threat to China because it still exists and they need to reunite with China for. Nah, I think you can make the argument that having this area right here is pretty not so good for Chinese, security interests. Okay. So they're going to want to take Taiwan. And then guess what the next one is? Yeah. South Korea. Things could go off crazy in South Korea, or China will basically force South Korea to be friendly with them or something. Like, I think those are some of the moves that they make that would concern the United States, right? And then you got this one over here. You got the border with India. That's another hot spot. So I think even though they keep saying that they don't want to have a war and everything, I think that what China is trying to do is they're going to build up their military so that they can come and make these moves that the United States and the rest of the world won't want, and then hoping that the rest of the world will just stand down and let them do it. Is, I think, their plan. China's the only thing in the world that really concerns me. Well, I don't know. I'm just trying to game it out from a geopolitical sense, right? Since somebody brought it up on Twitter, and it's been on my mind lately. Trying to understand your mindset. What do you mean? On China? Well, I think China is a wonderful place. I'm just not very fond of the current government. China's biggest problem might be Japan. Well, that's another. Yeah, I think that's another area. Amazon in China took the Bible and Quran off of the App Store. I didn't realize that Amazon when China was that big of a deal. Oh, that's so weird. Not surprising, but... Our alliance with Japan is solid for sure. Oh, for sure. I think the problem over there with Japan is the current concern is that if anything ever really happened, that Japan wouldn't be able to do anything. Is what they're worried about there, I think. But I imagine their hands are tied. Well, I don't know. For something like that, I don't know if it's a huge like the thing is for these companies, when it comes to your actions in China, it's like, well, you kind of have no choice, right? Because you have to follow their laws, right? But what happens is that then they turn around and they try and use it to pursue their actions outside of China. Like, for instance, with Blizzard, where they're like, their players aren't allowed to say anything bad about China. Like, that's not okay. And I think that Blizzard ultimately paid for it, because China killed the video games. So like, they were doing all this stuff to try and play nice with China, and then China basically banned video gaming. So oops. And then all they did was piss off a bunch of Western gamers. America and Japan have always been allies. Always? Are you? Well, I mean, for your lifetime, I guess. But you remember that Japan isn't allowed to have like a real military. They're still very much reliant upon the United States if anything happened. Oh, I'm just kidding. Okay. I was going to say, I was like, have you heard of a little thing called World War II? But I was trying to be more polite about it. I must be in a fairly good mood this morning, because, I was thinking about it last week. I would have just been grumpy about that and been like, what are you talking about? You've never, come on. Just a skirmish. Okay, well, Treasuries have come back a pretty good clip. I'm not sure if I believe that they're going to push up higher or not. Now is an okay time for a trade. You know what? In fact, let's just... No. Oh, whoa. Oh yeah, that's not what we want. I clicked that. I was using the wrong account for that. Okay, go. Use a sim. I want the sim account there. I want. You know what? That's wrong. Well, I guess they're just still with it. Okay, so we want 3, 4, 10. Oh. Okay. I really got this screwed up. Okay, serious account, scale out, auto. Okay. 3. There we go. That's okay. Powell was elderly and had a blood disease. The vaccine is still effective. Don't let the anti-vaxxers use General Powell's death for their narrative. Well, I think the problem I foresee happening with Powell's death is people are going to say, see, this is a really good example of how a lot of the deaths that they're blaming on coronavirus really aren't due to coronavirus. That's what, because if it's the case that Powell didn't really die from coronavirus, and you really can't blame it on the vaccine not being effective enough and all of those things, then surely you can say that same thing about a wide number of cases in the United States, right? Well, that one was no good in the ES. I never got a favorable tick out of that. Well, the Treasury turning down there a little bit again. It looks to me like the bearishness in the ES is related to what's going on here in the Treasury. I love that scene in Europe Trip where the drunk English guy says that about England and Germany being allies. Just a skirmish. A lover's quarrel. Oh. Germany is an interesting country to me, man. Like I always just, it's just Europe. They're like kind of all the same now. Like, no. Germany is very different from the rest of the. There's not a country quite like Germany, man. And they are just so. How would the Brits put it? Like it's beautiful countryside, but it's boring AF. Like, yeah, that's totally Germany. I thought that the girls were crying, but now I can hear that they are actually laughing in the background. Well, it looks like Jay has got a pretty good winner so far. Oh, you know what? I have financial juice turned on. That might help. I'm getting a few economic numbers in here. These are all kind of small numbers. Not one that I normally pay attention to. Industrial production and capacity utilization. And industrial production was down. That's not good. That might, well, I wouldn't expect it to have a huge impact on the treasuries, but probably will boost them up a little bit. Oh, come on, E-mini. You're so close. The Hill Tweeds Democrats face grim political reality in midterms. Yeah. Oh, Polygon and DraftKings enter into a strategic blockchain agreement. That's interesting. Do you guys know who Polygon is? They do market data. I was actually, oh my gosh. So this week, so I'm working on our light board, and so I was looking for the best way to obtain the market data for it to report. And so I tried a bunch of different APIs, and they would all let me do a quote. It was FinQuant, or what was theirs? There was this one site that was really good because it would give me the constituents of the index. But then I was like, well, I'm not going to go through and show all 500 members of the index. Like, I need to find a way to just like display the top 20 stocks that day or something like that, right? So I was looking around for something, and I looked everywhere. And Polygon was one of the better ones. Polygon had a good query that would give me what I wanted, but it was only available with their $100 a month plan. Alpaca? Yeah, I tried Alpaca too. Yeah, so what I need is a query that will return back to me like a list of the top 20 stocks or something like that. Like that's the main requirement. So, you know what happened was I spent all this time looking everywhere, and in the end I found out that Yahoo was the best. So even though Yahoo doesn't have a public API, people have written an API for it to do the queries behind the scenes. And one of their queries is the top 20 most active, well, actually top 100 most active stocks. And so that's what I think I'm going to use. And I literally looked at like 30 different, I was shocked at how many different services out there were for this. And most of them weren't really very good. I felt like they didn't really give you very good data. Like the queries that they gave you were just like, okay, so I have to know the stocks that I want to look at, was what it came down to. And like when you looked at the number of requests that you wanted and everything, like if you wanted to track all of the constituents of the S&P 500, there's no way you could do it with their plans, because you'd have to make 500 queries every time that you wanted to look. Versus there should be one query that would just return to me the information about every S&P 500 stock. You know what I mean? If you find a better one than Yahoo, though, I'm be interested. But it sounds like I'm going to be using Yahoo. But I think that was the easy part. Getting it to like do cool animations and look nice. That's going to be work. I get it to work, but yeah, there's going to be some weird things. And I also need to just decide if it's going to be like 2-tiered or not. So there's a 32 pixel board, but I think that if I make all of the letters 32 pixels wide, you might not be able to read it very well. So may have to split it and do 16 and 16. Okay, so that was finally our first target. I am really lucky that they didn't just stop me out there, huh? Well, I might be okay with a short here at 17, have 18, but I'm not so sure that the situation is so clearly sell now. Like it seems to me like the S&P 500 is saying, no, you can't go down. You're not allowed. They're like little kids at school, you know. E-mini, if you go down, I'll cry. J-Pal comes in. What's going on here, you two? And then the E-mini would say that, you know, the treasuries were trying to blackmail them. And then Powell would say, you know, comfort the bonds here. Oh, no, it's okay. You don't have to go down. We're still going to have extraordinary monetary support. We're still willing to step in if necessary. It's okay. See a couple of people on Twitter pointing out the U.S. industrial production month-over-month negative spot 1, spot 3 versus a forecast spot 2. That is a pretty good gut check. That's not a number that I typically see markets react to very strongly, but sure seems to me like the economic situation in the United States at the moment is not like super great. So, curve seems to be steepening a lot today. I suppose some of what we're seeing here is just like reversion. Mean reversion, because in the overnight they were flattening a little bit. But look at how dramatic it is between the 5 and 10 year and the 30. Like the 30 is like 3 ticks down. And almost, you know, like right on the edge of the lows. Stocks making the biggest moves in the pre-market. Zilla's probably really doing not so well this morning, huh? Yeah, Zillow slid 6.4% in pre-market trading following a Bloomberg report that the company has temporarily stopped its home buying service due to overwhelming demand. Yeah. That's not, you know what, that chart, oh man, like I'm really interested in Zillow as a stock, and I think that in the long term Zillow could be a really, really good trade, but right now it does not look so good. It does not look so good. They're going to be down 5%, so they're going to be down in like the 90s or something, right? Or down in the mid 80s now. Well, I guess that's not as bad as it's been lately. Okay. Grayscale will file to convert its Bitcoin trust into an ETF. Let's see here. Newsquack tweeting a couple of big stocks. Let's see here. Amazon down spot 6%, faces investigation from Congress. Netflix up spot 5 with estimates value of Squid Game at nearly $900 million. Disney down 2.2% as it's downgraded by Barclays. Ouch. And Goldman Sachs received approval from China's regulators to take full control of its mainland securities business, up spot 2%. Zillow down 8 spot 6%. It's going to be ugly. BIIB, I don't know who that is. Late stage trial of an experiment ALS treatment did not reach its primary goal. NTAP down 3.6, downgraded by Goldman Sachs, citing the 2022 IT spending environment. Yeah. You know, they say, like, I've been saying for a long time, I'm not so sure that there's many good stocks to buy or good values out there because everything is up high. But I am starting to see some stocks that have just really been punished and are frankly in kind of dire straits. And the problem is just that, like, I don't know if you really want to buy it right now because so like Zillow is a really good one that I think you could get in. Sumo is I think another one, and any of these IT services kinds of companies, I think that those could all be good plays, but right now the market does not like them. So like on a 10-year time horizon, it's super great, but in the meantime, are you willing to take like a 20% haircut to be in it? Well, I might. It's hard to time things right. I think if you're doing that though, you probably need to be investing regularly. Averaging in and stuff, because what if there's like a recession, then those could be the ones that really take it on the nose. Good morning, Ace. Oh, I thought you wouldn't be back until tomorrow. They missed you, people on Thursday and Friday. Where's Ace? No, guys, don't worry, we have a secure relationship with Ace, and he told us that he was going because that's the kind of guy that he is. He knows. And then they were okay. They're like, okay, we can handle one day. Now, the Treasury going to come all the way back to the open? I missed the short, but I think I played this right in the Treasury. Now, it wasn't because I thought that it was going to spike all the way back up, but just that, remember, the Treasuries are probably going to be biased towards the downside and might have perplexing moves, where when it goes down, it kind of seems like you couldn't expect it, and when it comes back up, it's going to seem like you couldn't expect it. I think in this case, maybe it was that industrial capacity news. I don't know. Yeah, Treasury coming up. And there's the E-mini opening. Gonna get my fill almost. How could it be so close? Are you kidding me? Unbelievable, man. Okay, that was a little weird. My data feed may be having a little bit of trouble here keeping up. And Treasury's still ticking up. I should have reversed it, huh? I mean, I did see kind of the spot where it was going to turn. Like there was some absorption down in the 14 area and then they backed off. I could have bought there. No reason for me to have thought that it was going to get all the way back up here though. And now that we're all the way back up here, should we not be thinking about shorting it? Well, I don't know if that makes sense with that news that came out. I don't know. I didn't necessarily see the buy volume coming in though either, so. Okay. Well, I've come very, very close, but they did not want to film me. Can you believe that I literally missed it by a tick? Can you believe? That doesn't mean that we won't get it, but I just find that so incredibly frustrating. That stuff is only supposed to happen to you in treasuries. Well, I don't know. It does look like mostly biased to the upside, but I am seeing some sell sweeps here, so nothing too strongly correlated with the dollar, but the dollar is moving down. I also see that the 6J and the Treasury are pretty well tied together, as is tradition. They're gonna stop me out, aren't they? Oh, look at that. All right. Well, that's interesting. So a little bit of fight there, NES. That might be like just enough to stop us out and then go gangbusters along, right? Well, that move right there in the Treasury didn't make sense. The S&P 500 broke a new low and the Treasury ticked down. Yeah, Patrick Rooney says no good prints for dollar bulls this morning. Yeah, it's all bad. Oh, that rate looks like it's just gonna start pushing up. I was thinking about 612. Okay, that's interesting. You went short 30. Oh, well, sure. I'll try. I'll try joining you. Okay. So you don't feel left. So you don't feel lonely. So the Treasury definitely chilled out there. Well, not so feeling 38, Ace. I'm not feeling it. He probably is already out of it, huh? Yeah, he says get out. I'm gonna let it go to the full stop for statistical purposes. It's just a sim order, so. Let me see here. Right there at about. Nope. That was some good long flow right there. Okay. So the Treasury ticked down and they're going to attack this big order at 17.5. I think that there's a good chance that they do. That offer thickened up pretty good. Yep. Oh, they pulled. Oh, only 1384. Only 1384. Now we got our second order filled here in the Treasury. Okay. Now we're in business, boys. Now we're in business. Don't think that quite makes up for the ones that we missed there, but Let's see here. We lost 65. So we're close. We're close to making up our losses in the ES. Well, I'm quite surprised how well that worked out because we took 2 losers in a row there, right? The first one we caught some favorable excursion on and got out. So the first one wasn't so bad; it was only $20, but that third one was 45, but then this one was just great. Now, should I let it ride further than the 44.50? Oh, you went 42? Oh, you're late. Banks are up. Well, Goldman Sachs is up because, wow, they're 1.34% now, huh? Well, Goldman Sachs is up because they had a good regulatory action happen in China for them. So I think that's what's going on over there. Okay, so is the Bitcoin ETF a done deal now? Or is this just more noise? It looks like more noise. I don't see like an official announce. I don't know if I'll actually get that. Okay. Curious. So the treasuries will look awfully bearish. But they're not. These micros aren't quite going to where I want. SPY does sometimes love gap filling. Yeah, it does actually. A gap fill is one that I think there is some evidence to suggest that it works. I don't have a fundamental reason to think that it works, but the stats seem to suggest that it does. It's kind of hard. Oh, wait. Are we okay? Can you hear me? Yeah, okay. I got my little mixer mixed up, that's all. 10 points a read. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Especially if the gap fill is like, they gapped down overnight and there was no reason for them to. Yep. Coinbase wants a special regulator for crypto. The problem with Coinbase's proposal is that, as T. Phillips points out, companies would stop issuing stock and start issuing coins and avoid securities laws. I'm seeing this more and more from the cryptocurrency world, where they're like saying, well, it's a fundamentally different thing and it needs to be regulated differently. And I do not see the case. I do not see their case at all. Okay, good. I got my fill there. I'm happy about that. We could get some more, but there's a little bit too much volume going through here. So I think that for me, getting out there is probably okay. Because am I really going to see us go up to 1.641? Well, never say never. But at the moment, I want to get out where I'm seeing the volume trading, and that looks like as good a spot as any. I digress. Why do they need a different regulator? Like, here's the thing. Tether is buying Bitcoin with dollars that don't exist. That's literally what's happening here in this market. Like on one hand, you could present it like, they're oh wait, what? That is not what was supposed to happen. Flat. Oh, you know what happened? Oh, okay. When I clicked on here, it took the profits, but I had 3 there to take profits instead of just 1 because I hadn't adjusted my little thing here. I have it set to 3. And so it tried going short. So we lost $2. That's fine. I caught it and I'm fine. That ended up being a good trade. I'm on the ES. I'm going to try. I don't know, man. I really want to just see how well this scaling out bit works, because even though I've kind of done scaling out before, I don't think I was as dedicated to it as I should be. And I really want to try and just play it the way that Ace plays it, where he catches his one runner and then he's done. Tesla is up 2%. Wow. Why is Tesla up? Because Bitcoin is up, maybe? I don't know. That one seems a little weird to me. But it probably ain't nothing. Now, those winnings don't make up for the losses that the robot is doing here, down 350 today. Would if they were both trading micros, but it looks to me, so with my robot, it looks to me like Jay's got a good signal, but it is not as consistent as I like. I'd like to see something way more consistent. So I think that there are probably some things that we can fix on it, but I think that the solution on him, because one of the problems is I like the number of trades that he takes right now, and I don't think that I want to filter him out by level 2 stuff. Maybe I could try using the level 2 as a trigger. Like I could say, okay, the situation that I'm looking for over here says now you can take a trade, but he doesn't actually take a trade until he sees the flip in the level 2. That maybe is not a bad idea. But I think that what I really need to do is I need to put this all into a machine learning system. So I think that there's a lot more complication to it than that. Okay, they're pulling back in the Treasury again, huh? Back up to 17. Oh, that one lot that I got out there with was really good, huh? So my goal is like $10 to $20 in the Treasury, and I think we hit it. I think we're good. Who is this guy? Well, pundit is retweeting, I am now firmly against anyone famous dying, not because it is bad for them to lose their lives, but because it will inevitably mean an absolutely unbearable day on this godforsaken social platform. That guy deserves a like. I liked that. Of course, full gap fill if Apple keeps rallying. Yeah. Well, so let's come back here to TradingView. A full gap fill would take us to the VIX level. So 4470. Yeah, I think likely. 4470 sounds likely. Just because, like, when I come in and I see kind of where the volume is going, and I kind of game it out as like, what's the next kind of key level that I could see them going to? And on the chart, it's like 4465 and then 4470 on even numbers. And then I see the VIX says it's going right up there too. Yeah, that tends to work somehow. I don't know how you write an algorithm to test all of those conditions that I just listed out, but it seems like when I'm looking at a level and it agrees with the VIX that with our VIX levels, that they go right to it. Okay, the baby's still asleep. Okay. Oh, yeah. If we hear the baby, we gotta go get him. You know what's weird? Tell me, are you having this same problem, Ace? It's like, the kids were in school last week. Ace says hi. Oh, she's too late now. Okay, the kids were in school last week. Okay, so it doesn't seem like, it hasn't been that long. It's only been like 2 days of school that they didn't have, right? But it feels like it's been forever, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, this is so weird. The kids are going to school this morning, and like. Ooh, Lehigh woman killed in Little Cottonwood Canyon rollover incident. Is that a car rollover? A new study estimates that cases of depression rose by 53 million globally as a consequence of the pandemic, 28% above pre-pandemic levels. You have one more day of spring break? Well. I have a theory. Depression is caused by not going outside and not having enough close relationships with people. That's, gosh dang it, is that him? I hear him rustling. So he's probably in that world where, like, if I went up there and opened the door, he would wake up. But if I don't see anything, he might just lay there until mom gets back. So take this. We'll put it closer. Oh, he's definitely awake. He's definitely awake. Well, I'm not in any trades, not even sim trades, so I guess I'll go get him. Oh, yeah. Dude, look at how big the baby is now. Say hi, look right there. Asher. You see you right there? It's Asher. He's like a year and a half. He was born in February, so he's not really a baby much anymore. Oh yeah, he walks. He walks. He doesn't talk though. He doesn't. He'll make noises, but he doesn't really talk at all. Most he's behind on the talking. But apparently I was behind on the talking too. I didn't start talking until I was like over 2. I keep working on him though. Well, that was pretty good order flow. It brought us back up here, huh? There was a bit of volume behind that up move. So I'm not so sure that going in for another short would really make sense for me if I really wanted to take another trade today. And I kind of feel like even Mondays and Fridays are my worst days, so I caught a little bit of something. Then on a Monday, we're probably okay to just quit there. You watching? You see it moving right there? He's like mesmerized by the pretty colors, I think. Shall we recenter it? Let's recenter it because it looks like the treasuries are going to go for some highs. Ooh, now is it going to be interesting to see what the 30-year does here. Like when the 5 and the 10 are making new highs and maybe even stop out, will the 30-year do some crazy stuff too? It's okay if it takes them a bit to start talking. Enjoy it once they start. They never shut up. Well, my parents said that I didn't start speaking until later. And I have many times where so for instance, yesterday was a really good example. My wife came back from work and she says, "Hi, Asher." And he's like he's not paying attention. So I yelled his name really loud. And then he looked at me and then he saw that mom was home. So I think that he's probably ADHD like myself. And I've seen signs of it even before he was born, actually, to be honest with you, that I was like, he's probably ADHD like me. And if you're ADHD, the not speaking bit could be like you're just not paying attention to it. But there have been times at which I'm like, is this child autistic? Like, what is going on here? So that's kind of why I've been paying attention to it. He's just not very interested in being social. You can just drop them off at the nearest fire station. No, I've been quite, you know what? When it's just me and him on the weekend, that can be rough sometimes, especially if we didn't clean the house before mom goes, because he just likes to find every little thing that he can and throw it around, Certainly paying attention is important because autism is serious. Wait, yeah, live action says I don't see signs of autism. See, I don't think it's autism either. I think, but I do think he's ADHD. Like I'm seeing some signs that would kind of be like, would make somebody think that you have autism, but it's really not the full thing. Like it's not like a person with autism, like really doesn't care about people, generally speaking, right? He definitely cares about people. He's just not paying attention half the time, He's way more interested in the other thing that's going on. Throw stuff around. We're all on the spectrum somewhere. There you go. But no, I think I would like more. I don't know if my wife is up for it, but oh look, there she is. We were just talking about maybe he's ADHD because he's done talking. He woke up like as soon as I think that the garage door woke him up or something.
I thought that might happen.
That's the calmest I've ever had him here when he's sitting with me at the stream. He sat and he just stared at the dom. He wasn't trying to grab the microphone or anything. Maybe. She needs to shout out hi. Well, I don't think she's like too self-conscious. She's not want her. She's like, I don't have makeup on. Yeah.
The other monitor.
Miss Speculator, say hi. Yes, he wants you to say hi.
Hi.
All right, there you go. She definitely could have heard that.
Here, let me have the other monitor too.
Oh, this.
I was looking to fire that earlier. One day.
Yeah, it was in here.
It'll be a surprise.
Yeah. Maybe one day when the kids are all gone, I can force her to wake up early and sit here and be my assistant.
I still wake up early. I just got that many kids here that everywhere.
In the meantime, I might have to go find some guy to do it. Hire some kid. We get the stream up to a certain level and go and hire some high school kid. No one will hit the like button. So she said hi. You heard her, right? She wasn't going to come on. She didn't even have her bra on. That's funny. It's like, oh, so you're willing to go out in public and drive around like that, but not come on stream. Well, I must say that move up in the ES looked pretty good. But they sure came to a level pretty quickly. Oh, now we got out at, what was it, 44 to 39? Oh, 44-40. So not such a big deal. I guess there was a little bit of a stop run when they filled me too, which probably wasn't. I'm really lucky that I got out with what I did. Going to be hard at 6 a.m. I don't think that man, she has to sleep. Like, here's the thing. She goes to sleep at the same time as me. She tends to go to sleep at the same time as me, but she wakes up like 2 hours later. So, yeah, I don't. She has to get a lot of sleep for some reason. I don't know if that's a symptom of her thyroid problems or what, but if she was up in the morning, she would probably be grumpy a lot. It's just frustrating. It's frustrating to me because I feel like I really am in a position to take this stream to the next level, but sometimes I'm a little bit uncertain about my ability to do it on my own. So I've done this whole stream. I've literally done all of the work on my own, and it's hard. It's hard. So I recorded this video the other day for like, should you trade or not? And the delivery was so terrible. Like, I went to go and edit it and it just looked bad. It looked bad. One of the problems is, like, you come here to the camera. I don't know if you can see it, but like, you can see the ring light on my eye. And that was really distracting. Like, if you're looking into the ring light, no big deal. But when it's off to the side, it just doesn't look right. So that was a big problem. So I'm kind of questioning this whole, like, the setup where I have the, how we say, the setup where I have the camera or the teleprompter over here. Not so sure that's gonna work. I'm not so sure that's going to work. All people who produce videos and use... Yeah, but it's supposed to be centered around your iris. You get what I'm saying? It's like when the ring is on the side of your iris, it looks weird and it's distracting. When it's around the black part of your eye, it increases the contrast in your eye and it looks really nice. Use a softbox. I would like to get soft boxes, but I feel like I'm done with getting lighting for now. Yeah, the camera needs to be in the middle of the circle, exactly. See, I have it here, you'll see. So the reason I got the ring light was for TikTok. And it is perfect for TikTok. When I put it over here and then I face it behind here and I take it, it's awesome. Maybe I should just make all of my YouTube videos like that. That would be easier than using the camera. Newer is inexpensive. Well, but there's the thing. I have two ring lights actually. I got the cheapo ring light that I bought at Best Buy that ended up being not very good. Like the light that comes off of that one, at least on my old Samsung, my new Samsung phone is a little bit better, but my old Samsung phone, the color that it put off just didn't look right. This one, it's good. The thing that drives me nuts about my new Samsung phone is that like when I'm in TikTok, you can't control the contrast and stuff on it. So like if I make this light brighter, it doesn't really change the image, which is kind of weird. And it tries to color adjust too. So it thinks that it's like an incandescent light when it shouldn't be doing any adjusting whatsoever. So that annoys the heck out of me. But anyways, so I got the stand for it and everything so that I can move it over here, over here and record from there for the TikToks. And then I can move it back over here for the stream. And when we're here on the stream and I'm just here in the corner, no big deal, right? No big deal. But when it's like a full video and I'm right here and I'm looking into the camera, having it in the corner of the eye looks a little weird. So that really bothered me. But what really, really bothered me was just how terrible my delivery was. It was like every other sentence I was pausing in the middle of the sentence and breathing, and like it was really disjointed and I really didn't like it. And there was a couple of things in the script that I think that I need to improve as well. So like I went through all that effort, I recorded it. I on Friday night went in and did all of the editing for it, and then I decided not to post it because I didn't like it. And it's just so frustrating because I really, for our channel to grow the way that I would like, we really should be putting out a video every week, right? But it's very difficult to find the time to do all of that right. I think what I would like to do is I would like to get it so that I could have a setup like a camera over there that just stays there. So I need like a second camera. maybe one with a better autofocus. Although I have some theories about how I can maybe autofocus with the Canon. So I'm going to go and try and buy a remote. And I think I might have even though it doesn't do the autofocus with the video, I think what I can do is I can tell it to take a snapshot, have it autofocus with the snapshot, and then go and switch it over to turn the autofocus off and switch it to video, and then hopefully it will still be in focus. That's my plan. And then what I could do is I could leave the tripod over there in the corner. And yeah. Probably though, before I do all of that, I need to finish my project with the marquee scroller, because I've got stuff all over here for the marquee scroller, and it'll probably be like that for a couple more days until the stuff from 8020 comes and I can mount it. And then once I've mounted it, I should be able to get rid of everything. Well, source familiar with the matter said Powell had multiple myeloma, cancer of plasma cells that suppresses the body's immune response. Even if fully vaccinated against COVID-19, those who are immunocompromised are at greater risk from the virus. Yes. Okay. Anyways, but to the softbox point, I have this, I have the other light, and then I have the key light from Elgato, and I think that the key light works really well. I mean, I think that the lighting here on the stream looks great, but yeah, probably a softbox would have been better. And maybe what I could do is I could buy some softboxes and I could mount them permanently on the ceiling and only use the softboxes for the regular videos. But I feel, and I could do that right now. I could buy all that stuff, but I feel like I should just wait. I'm just going to wait and save up. And like maybe later this year, Sony might put a new camera out and I'll just get their new camera or something like that. Once this interactive brokers the launch of cryptocurrency trading for RIAS in US, enabling RIAS to trade in custody Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and Bitcoin Cash. I have no clue what that is. Cryptocurrency trading for financial advisors in the US. Okay. Well, I tell you, you know what, like I talked about it earlier in the stream, but I don't think that I really put it in perspective. Like Bitcoin is probably about to see a massive move. Like it really looks to me like Tether is just going to be allowed to do whatever it wants for now. At some point, the Department of Justice is going to come down on them. And when the Department of Justice announces their case, that's when it's going to hit the fan, right? But until that happens, this thing is going to be gangbusters long. Like really with these ETFs and everything. And you got to realize, like, with the futures ended up being like a sell the news kind of event, right? Because really, as soon as the futures went out, it was easier to short it. So... yeah, of course they fell. ETF, it's not the same thing, right? ETF, that could continue to provide money coming into Bitcoin for a long time. That could be money coming into Bitcoin for a long time. So I think that Bitcoin is probably going to have a run. And what you might see is a little bit of a run now, and then a really ugly pullback, and then they push even further on retail, because right now it doesn't look to me like the retail is really participating. You don't see the Google searches, for instance. RIAs, registered investment advisors. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah, either way, until Tether is taken out, it's like, I think you just want to be long Bitcoin. Now, I don't think I'm going to participate in that, because like there's like so much risk, right? Like it's going to be long and it's going to be a crazy move up, but you don't know the day that the Department of Justice is going to put their thing out and it's all going to come, to a crashing halt. And like if we consider that, like it's possible that like 80 to 90% of the Tether is not backed. Like, think about that. And when the market starts falling and there's nobody there to catch the knife in the form of Tether, it's just going to keep going. And it's going to be ugly. What's this? Bitfinex posting, by the way. Why the big short guys think Bitcoin is in a bubble. Okay. Yeah. Let's see here. Forex Flow retweeted by Livesquawk. Fed's Powell in the trading firing a line. News Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell continued to trade securities from his personal account during the pandemic, including a sell of between 1 and 5 million from a total market index fund on October 1st of 2020. The Dow would lose 6% that month. Wow. Really? Wait, show this thread. There's more? 3 other senior officials have faced serious criticism for making stock trades. Yeah, but the third one was a planned thing. That's they keep presenting it as though he traded, but it's not. That's not actually what happened. Powell made 26 trades in all during 2020, most of them nominal, although we don't have the dates for all the purchases in one of the sales. The October 1st sale of 1 to 5 million is notable for its size and timing. But it could be I would wait until he responds, because it could have been a planned distribution, right? That, though, could give the liberals more cause to try and get rid of him, though. Like, it really feels to me like this is all I'm being conspiratorial, aren't I? It feels like that this is all a coordinated campaign to take over the Federal Reserve for liberal policies, but Carl Quintilla retweeting like, here's where the drop was. Like, oh yes, it was a huge drop that Powell sold into. Yeah. Well, we should monitor this story, though. I'm sure that there's going to be more come out about it that maybe makes it seem not so bad. So. The Fed media relations spokesperson was not available for comment. Will report on any Fed statement on Powell. That could be a reason to buy the Treasuries, you know. Could be a reason to buy the Treasuries. Well, Jay not doing so hot today, unfortunately. Trading floor audio tweets Bank of England hikes 40 basis points by the year-end. Investors bet the Bank of England's Bailey has begun the countdown for a rates liftoff. Traders ramp up Bank of England rate bets, raising concern over policy error. Yeah. So here's the thing that I have, that the whole policy error. If the market is betting on a policy error, how would you see that, and how would you prove that that's what's happening? So like rates declining into a situation where they should be raising? Maybe, but how do you prove that that's because they're betting on a policy error? You know? It seems like that's that kind of a flow, like a really opinionated sort of a trade. Would be hard to prove from watching the order flow or anything like that, the timing of it, etc., etc. So you're always going to be able to explain it in another way Well, anyways, after this stream, I'll leave it. I'm going to leave it the way that it is now until I get a remote control. It's like I should rearrange the camera and everything. Nah, I can wait. I feel bad. I feel like I'm letting you guys down sometimes, but it's okay. YouTube will still be there next week or the week after that. Like we'll get it sorted out eventually. And I'm sure that in the future, it's only just going to get harder to make videos. So. Yeah, Jay caught like one really good along, but then the rest of them haven't really been all that great. Like when I apply some of my own filtering, like especially based on the VIX, I think that if I could add the VIX levels to him, that could really, really help. But I don't have access to that data, unfortunately, to test if that's the case. New Squawk asks, does anybody know if Powell bought Upstart? Because that's one of the stocks that's been popping off. Yeah, there's been earlier on today where I was saying it's really particularly quiet on Twitter, but its activity has certainly picked up. Treasury yield curve flattens as surging energy prices stroke inflation fears. Well, they did flatten overnight, but then they steepened back up. So, I don't know. Now more people's picking up on this. Disclosure documents revealed that the spectacle of Fed officials personally trading stocks extended to the chair himself. So awful. So awful. I'm not buying this story. Like, so the whole thing was, these Fed officials, they traded during the year and yada 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 yada. Okay. At the point that became a story, surely every Fed official looked at their own activity. I don't think that Powell would have said some of the things that he had said if he had known that he had taken something that could be considered a trade. So I really suspect that it was some sort of a planned distribution. Could be wrong, but... Oh, Emiliano, are you talking about that video on CNBC where they asked him what the company does, and then all of a sudden it was like, "Oh, I'm having problems. I can't hear you," and they just ended the interview? Is that what you're talking about? Like I did see that the other day. That one interested in me because, not that I have anything against Mark. I mean, I don't really know much about him at all, but he won some trading contest, right? And so I had a friend that really likes him because of that. And I was like, well, you realize that like winning that contest one time doesn't mean that you can reproduce his results, right? Like, it's a good chance that you turn around and try and do what he does and just absolutely fall flat on your face. I hear you guys are the best at these types of investigations outside of Enron, AIG, and Bernie Madoff, WorldCon, Bernstairs, Lehman Brothers. Ah, great quote from the movie The Other Guys. That's funny. Well, here's the thing that I'm finding is that the justice system, when it comes to financial crimes, is really slow, right? People have known that Bitfinex and Tether. So like the time that they're saying that like Tether was unbacked and things like that, that the investigators have found that they were not backed. Those were times where we here on this stream were talking about it, right? Like, because I can see in my metrics, I could see that something was up, and people on social media were already talking about it, because surely they have friends and whatever they've talked about, like, know what's going on, and have kind of like the rumor mill is always going around, so they've always known about it. But it's now been like over 4 or 5 years, and the law is actually finally doing something about it. It's like it takes a long time to get their attention, but then not only that, it's like, since they can't see every tiny little thing that they do, and in order to prove that, you'd have to see what they're doing, and how do you get a subpoena and everything else like that, right? Yeah, that's why it's so slow. So there could be these cases in all of these instances where the law enforcement was doing the best that they can, but it's just the way that this system is set up, it's too slow. That's what it seems like to me. Maybe I'm wrong, though. Maybe there's some more systemic problem. Imano says, yeah, that's the one. Yes. Yeah. Well, because I follow this Guru Leaks guy on Twitter who... I have to say, so there's this guy called Guru Leaks, and he will post like images, leaked conversations, and all this sort of crazy stuff, purportedly proving trading gurus wrong, essentially. And maybe sometimes he's too harsh on them, but generally speaking, I've found the account interesting. But holy cow, the number of like gurus out there that are like being exposed, it's like insane. It's like a new guy every day. How do they do that? Coin went parabolic. Oh, then now that's interesting. I don't know. Do you want to be in Coinbase right now if Bitcoin is going to be picking up? I don't know, because the issue is that they've been selling hard. Like, insiders have been getting out on Coinbase. And I kind of really question the leadership there, that they, like, remember that whole thing about, oh, we should be allowed to have our little borrowing coin, whatever they call it. And I was like, well, that's a bond, right? And then what happened? They trashed. They said the government's coming after us, and then in the end they dropped it. I was like, what? I remember telling people on TikTok, like, if they take this to court, they're gonna lose. Like, they're just straight. There's this lawyer guy. He's like, well, I disagree. No, there's nobody in their sane mind would take that to court. And so of course they dropped it. But that was kind of created. After that, there was a bit more of a decline in Coinbase, and I was kind of looking at it like, it seems like it's not so, things do not look so positive for Coinbase. So for them to be up on a really big rally now the last 2 days, that is interesting, isn't it? Maybe some shorts getting stopped out along with that sort of a move, huh? Man, the Treasuries, I tell you what, we sure got out at a good spot, because we could have flipped around and we could have sold 31, wasn't it? Yeah, we could have sold 31 and made $30. 40 bucks. We could have made $40 if we had faded that. There's no way that I would have thought to have faded that, and there's no way that I would have thought that it would go up as high as it has. You know what though? Do you think it was the industrial capacity number? I mean, that's around the time that it flipped. Let's see here. I got this move right here. The other move up was after the ES opened. So I think we'd have to consider something else in it as well, but could just be earnings in the ES and everything else combined and more big guys coming in. You booking profits on your crypto stocks? Well, it's, you know, what we're about to embark on here in cryptocurrencies is the greatest game of chicken ever, right? Because I guarantee you, I shouldn't say I guarantee you, but man, I feel very, very strongly that this is going to end badly. I feel very, very strongly that this is going to end badly in Bitcoin, but there is going to be a huge rise before that. Like with the ETFs coming in, that's going to give a lot of people the confidence to want to buy in. I think you're going to see a lot of money come in here, and then the Department of Justice is going to come and end the party, and it's going to be so ugly because this really has been pumped up with money that doesn't actually exist. And I don't know how you get away from that fact. The crazy things are when moves come, they epic, and 15% on those IPOs were normal. Oh yeah. Oh man, at the beginning of the pandemic? Well, yeah, in Bitcoin, I think you could really see some insane things. It's been relatively subdued and actually down this morning. Let's just see how it goes throughout the week, because I don't think that the ETF has actually been, like, I don't think that I've seen the official. I just see everybody's reporting late on what's already been reported, and I'm still skeptical about it. And I kept hearing them say that the 18th was the earliest that they could do it. But I haven't actually seen the news that of the SEC or whoever it is announcing that they've officially approved something. So, I don't know. If that ends up being a lie, then that'll be epic too. But I mean, that's what happened last time around, right? Everybody was sure it was going to happen this time, and then it didn't. Man, I tell you ever get like that? You know, why is it that time moves more quickly and more slowly? Because the first part of this session I thought went by really, really quickly. But the last 10 minutes or so, it seemed like an eternity to me. We've talked about a bunch of stuff here in the last 10 minutes. I'm outside Southwest's headquarters in Dallas, Texas, and employees are gathering to protest the vaccine mandate and are shouting, "Let's go, Brandon." Oh boy. Still seeing, man, so this is a situation where, like, if my channel was all about politics, probably the thing to make today, the video that would get you the most views, would be a video on Colin Powell. And I'm really glad that I'm not in that position and that I don't really have to talk about it, because the people that are talking about it sound like really unhappy to be talking about it. It really is like trying to extrapolate one case is to a larger view on the pandemic. It's really, ugh. That's what people do. So I should point out that this 25.5, isn't that the gap fill? Yeah, it is. 25.5 was October 13th's low. So that's kind of like a gap fill. Of course, there's still the weekend gap all the way up to 131.11. I suppose we shouldn't be surprised if we see that gap fill too, because I'm not 100% sure that the move overnight, over the weekend, was really hard justified, but could be wrong. But there wasn't like any news or anything. I suppose that there was some stuff in Europe that might have something to do with it. Like these guys betting that the Bank of England is going to raise rates. Well, I feel kind of a little bit like, I don't think that the ES is going to move much from here. Kind of looks like they are very much stuck in range. There might be a little bit, like they might be able to make it to... Oh, actually, no. I think we could still see 70 by the end of the day. They're definitely coming into like the limit of their impact, though. Probably that's like, if we see 70, that's going to be another leg, right? New York Attorney General has called for unregistered crypto lending entities to stop operations. This coming via News Squawk. Wait, how come I didn't see that one when they tweeted it? That must have been like way earlier, because I did not see that. Let's check Reddit, see if anybody is saying anything on Reddit here. Man, I see a lot of... Yeah, the CFTC has proven that Bitfinex and Tether were insolvent prior to the Bitfinex hack. Tether didn't have full reserves from June of 2016. NFT's not annoying enough. Now they come with wallet emptying malware. Oh boy. But I don't see anything about that story that I just read, so. You did see, like, when that Interactive Brokers news came out, it kind of, like, since then, Bitcoin has been up a little bit. There it goes. There's the E-mini taking a run. And Jay has decided that it's too far. Oy. Not what you want to do, Jay. No. There's a 1500 MBO and ZF at 30.5. You know what, though? I wouldn't worry too much about those. There's almost always a large order at the highs and lows. You know, it hasn't like seemed like that much in the post-pandemic era, but it used to be that the highs and lows of the days you would always see a large order. Always. And you'd always see a large order at an even number. Like if we looked at 131 even, there'd be a big order. So those ones I think you kind of have to ignore. Should I say ignore? Yeah, no, I think you ignore. Oh man, a lot of people are making fun of Mark Minervini. So remember we were talking earlier about how he was on CNBC and they asked him a question about what the company did, and he said that he was having technical problems. And this was his face when he said that, when all of that happened. I don't know. Should we give him the benefit of the doubt? Should we give Mark the benefit of the doubt? I mean, I have no reason to doubt him. It sure seems like it would fit the bill, though, for him to be not 100% genuine with people. I don't know. You know what would be nice, though, is if people followed me on Twitter when I make a good Twitter content. You all liked the post. Why didn't you follow? It's okay. We will develop the Twitter following one follow at a time, one day at a time. You're all following though, right? You all following me on Twitter? They're gonna do So, I think I should note that the steepening seems to have leveled off. Like the Treasuries are near their highs. I mean, the 30 years near their highs now. Earlier, it really seemed like it was steepening really hard. But it looks like the 30 years caught up.
Block sell.
Ooh, okay. Oh, they hit into a pretty big iceberg there at 25. Someone realized there was the iceberg and just decided to... Wouldn't be surprised if that was a market maker just rebalancing his inventory. Like if you were the market maker and you'd been long that whole thing, and you're just kind of looking to take your profits now for people to sell into you, that's, 7,500. That's a perfect opportunity to get rid of some. Too speculative. I shouldn't even be. Should I? Do you guys like it when I mention things like that, or do you just kind of go like, whatever, Seth? Whatever you say, Seth. That's what I think was maybe going on there, but that's like hyper speculative. Philadelphia's new motto: the city the rest of the U.S. most wants to nuke. What? Is Philadelphia really that hated? Defense Secretary leaves for a week-long trip to Europe. Okay. That means there's going to be headlines from the Defense Secretary probably in the next week that we would want to keep an eye on. Not anything that will affect the markets, but will definitely give flavor for perhaps future events. New York Attorney General cracks down on unregistered crypto platforms. Okay, but are you going to do something about Bitfinex and Tether? Traders are betting the Bank of England will raise its key rate spot 5% by the end of this year. Wonder if what's going on here is all of the European traders are like, rates are going to increase, and the US traders are like, nope. I don't know. We should check Discord here. I'm thinking back now on the trades that we took with Ace and everything. Like, oh man, it really seemed ugly there for a bit, didn't it? What? New York now has more than double Florida's rate of new COVID cases per 100,000? How is that possible? I'm not 100% sure I believe that, to be honest with you. Well, there's a lot of comments on this. Let's see. Sure, now do death rates. And that is if you trust the data coming out of Florida. I'm just wishing that I had stayed. Where did you take your profits at? You took it at 10 points and you got in at 42. So you took it from 42 to 52. You got out about the same spot that I did. Right? Mine was at 44 to 62. Yeah. No, wait, how did I do that? Oh yeah, I took 44.39 to 53 essentially. So I had left out 10 points essentially. Yep. Yeah, well, we could. You have the link to my, the little VIX thing, right? I really find that such a useful guide, right? Or you can go and find the VIX levels video. Well, I think that 4470 would be a really good target. It might take them all day to get there, though. But that's just what the VIX is pricing in. They could move on average for a day. So it's not like any guarantee or anything. But how do you trade VIX futures? You have a futures broker and you just trade VX. I forget which... think that you have to be on the CBOE, right? Yeah. So you have to be on a futures broker that has access to the CBOE, and then you just trade VX, which I do think is a little bit more expensive for the data, but I don't know. I've seen some guys trading it. There's been some guys that have come into Discord from time to time and are trading it, and I tell you what, you can get some good trades, man. Because it's just every morning you come in and you just say, okay, I'm going short the VIX. And then that's how you trade that. You just go short. And then when the big fat tail event comes along, like it did in, what was it, March or February, May of 2018, right? Then you just have to know that that's what's going on and get out. scalp it, right? But most of the time, you just go short. Trade does not have it. Take all your fire and light it on money. There. No, I don't know if that's the case with the VIX. Listen, we talk about this all the time, but I don't know why. Why do I always bring this up? Is it because I am just like really overly focused on it? Or is it because I keep sharing this and people don't get it? Okay. When you take on risk, you increase the probability of you winning, but you also create fat tails. That's how it works. That's how it works. You take on more risk per trade, you're creating a fatter tail. And when I say more risk per trade, I mean more risk in comparison to your potential profit. Okay. When you have more risk in comparison to your potential profit, the mathematical properties of it are you are more likely to win, but you are taking on more risk per trade, and therefore it has fatter tails. And that applies to that even applies to Ace's strategy, right? The Ace's strategy is vulnerable to a fat tail. And the main way that he deals with that is if he's taken like 3 losers in a row or something, then he just quits for the day. And I suppose it could be possible that he could go through that every day for like a week or a month, and then that could be enough to blow him up. Like that could happen. Like that's probably the fat tail, but it would take a really crazy market for that to happen to him, right? But that's how it works, because the way that he's doing it is he's taking on a lot bit of risk for a very short period of time. And then he's only asking for a tiny little bit from the market in return. But this market really rewards you for taking on risk right now. And I suspect that it will continue to do that for quite some time. Ace Trades, everything is expensive when you live on the water in Florida. My mortgage here is pretty close to my electric bill back there. Really? But so anyways, with the VIX, the VIX is like the ultimate fat-tailed trade. It's like you will win by just shorting volatility like every day, but then when volatility spikes, you will get destroyed. And maybe if you're scalping, maybe you'll be fine. I don't know. Maybe we should just become VIX traders. That might be fun. Sounds fun. I mean, on the other hand, you could just trade the S&P 500 and you can just always go long. That would be almost the same thing, wouldn't it? Oh, she used to live in Florida. We forgot about that. Mm-hmm. And so, oh, that's weird. On TradingView, it shows me that I have a message, and I just go to click it, and it's like, oh, this is a message that I read a long time ago. So why does it still show it over there? That's annoying AF. Yeah, when you said that, I made it sound like you were living in Florida right now. Like you're saying, oh yeah, it's so much cheaper here in Florida. Because in all of our minds, it's like, well, if it's so much more expensive, then why do you live there? Let's see here. Forex Live has a poll. Bitcoin market reaction to ETF launch poll. Buy the news, sell the fact. No, I say you buy the news. 100% you buy the news. I tell you what, if the Bitcoin ETF comes out and then there's like a 90% decline in Bitcoin without the Attorney General or the Department of Justice doing anything, I'm going to be so wrong. Make sure, you know what, if you really want to discredit me and you really want Seth to be wrong on something that he just can't recover from, I think that would be it. I don't know how I could recover from that. If Bitcoin crashed before the Attorney General, I'd just be like, well, can't predict cryptocurrencies. Actually, I'm kind of already like that. I mean, like, I'm not in it right now, right? Even though I think really strongly that it's going to be moving up for the near future. Okay, let's see here. What is here? New York Attorney General out for blood, more other goodies. What is this? Oh, okay. Hold on. Hold the boat. Open image. Well, maybe we don't even get that situation. Maybe the regulators just go do it out right now. We write on behalf of the New York State Office of the Attorney General regarding blah, 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 including affiliates such as blah, 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 offering of lending products or services for virtual currencies. The OAJ enforces General Business Law Article 23A, commonly referred to as the Martin Act. Relevant to this matter, the Martin Act prohibits fraud in connection with the purchase of sale of securities and commodities and requires the registration with the OAG of securities and commodities, broker-dealers, salespersons, or investment advisors unless exempted. The OAG also enforces Executive Law Section 6312, which prohibits repeated or persistent fraudulent or illegal activity in the conduction of business. Okay, so they're sending legal stuff out to somebody, but we don't actually know who. The OAG has for several years expressed its concern that many virtual currency businesses, including trading platforms, issuers, and those engaging in the purchase or sale of assets on behalf of clients, expose New Yorkers to significant undisclosed risks. More recently, the OAG reminded all industry participants that if they conduct activity within or from the state, they must be properly registered with this office and/or other government authorities. And then there's a bunch of other stuff. Let's see here. With your product, provide all contracts, agreements, or other communications with Tether Limited or other affiliated persons or entities. Aha. A list of users that have provided or have been loaned or have placed as collateral USDT with transaction details. A list of transactions by or through your platform or service that, in whole or in part, include USDT, including all relevant transaction details. Ooh. So are they going to come in and they're going to say that even though you're an exchange somewhere else, because you have New York customers, you have to be registered with us. Oh, and you need to provide us anything that you have on Tether? Is that what's going on? State whether your platform permits use by unverified accounts. What are you saying here, Ace? It was great to get away. Also fun to come back home. I miss my map room, which is my new name for my office. I think what is cool topographical map of Utah. I got it framed and sent a picture to Seth. There are a few maps on the wall. Maybe get more. Yeah, you know what? I need to put my stuff up on the wall. I've got this picture. Have I shown you guys the picture? I got this picture. Dang it. Oh, it's like way over here. See, I got this picture. I never put it up. Okay, well, you know what, guys? I got to get going. I'm just realizing what time it is. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have fun. In the meantime, stay profitable, friends.